Can't relate, straight talk going, safe not safe. Before you cross me, look both ways. Leaving the scene with no trace, none in my league. You out of place, I'm not at the top, I'm outer space. Can't eat with us, we're out of place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going, state to state.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your host, your boy, George Mackay. I'm back. This is the last interview of 2021. It's going to wrap it up. We're going to drop this a couple days before New Year's Eve. So hope you all had a great Merry Christmas, and I hope you're getting ready for a killer New Year's. And now, without further ado, welcome back to Straight Talk Wrestling. One of my great friends, somebody I consider a brother, family, none other than the amazing, the wonderful Jackson Stone. How are you, my dude?
Well. What do we have here? What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Thank you again for having Shogun on.
Oh, always. So I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope everything was good. Lots of time with the family and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Right now, holiday season is going swell for Shogun and the Shogun family. I love the Goonie shirt. Always repping. And always.
Never say die.
Never. And pretty much, man, we out here just taking one day at a time, suplexing one day at a time. We had honestly, I had a pretty fun December of shows. So, I wrapped it up pretty in a nice fashion recently. So with some fun matches. So I'm just getting ready for 2022. And, especially after how 2020 was, it felt good just to get back into it. So I'm just really excited to see what 2022 is going to offer, man.
Absolutely. So I got to ask, because over here right now with the new variant, shows are reducing capacity. We're not in a lockdown situation yet, but who knows what January is going to hold. So how are things over there for you guys right now in terms of this new variant and capacity regulations? Are shows still going full force?
Shows are still going right now. Well, thankfully, I would say right now, fortunately, people are, at least from the shows I've been at and I've attended, people have been still keeping up with the CDC guidelines. People still have been wearing masks. So, people have still been relatively, even though, you can't keep your excitement for too much. A lot of people still been trying to keep their distance. And, like that reminder's been out there. But I mean, I'm all best wishes for next year, man, because honestly, it'll be so great to be able to really unleash a lot of suplexes out in 2022, because there's a lot of great things, man, popping off.
Absolutely. We need you back over here in the north to see those suplexes fly full force, man. That's what we need. We need Jackson Stone up in here. I need some of that Shogun Lemonade action. Got to get it back here, man.
Yeah, just to go across the border right now, Shogun, I had to send if you can, just give me a second to send out my apologies to everybody out there in the crossbody pro wrestling. Shogun was trying to get across, but unfortunately, the rules were like Shogun has his fax card. He's everything. Shogun is all ready, but he didn't have the test for that day. So I had it for that week, but not that day. So pretty much, it's one of those things. All right, well, I'll be back, and I do believe there's something going on in January or February. Shogun's gonna be working his damnedest to try to get back across, man, because there's so much talent over there I would say in the great land of Canada right now, where everybody popping off. Shouts out to all the homies out there holding Albright, everybody, man, holding it down. Much love to you guys. Shogun can't wait to come back out there for real.
Absolutely.
For real.
So last time we spoke,
I'm sorry, it's just one thing about the Toronto fans, man. Like, you got the Canadian fans in general, Toronto, that Kitchener area, they go crazy, man. I just want to give love to that area, man. Like, they really love some pro wrestling. I appreciate them a lot.
Absolutely. No, the whole province loves pro wrestling. And even though you're a fixture in Kitchener, we got to get you more exposure out in Mississauga. We got to get you up to Barrie. We got to get you Oshawa. We got to get you all the four quarters of Ontario so they can see what the Straight Talk family already knows. There's nobody better for the suplex than the Shogun. Now, there is one man, and we'll get into it a little bit later. I don't know if you've tangled, but we have to talk because he also himself calls himself a suplex assassin, and that's Alex Kane.
Nice.
So we gotta talk about you and Alex Kane. Hopefully one day staring each other down in the ring, because that's kind of my dream match for you. But before we do that, last time we spoke, we talked a lot about the Impact gut check. We talked a lot about you winning that and how things were going to progress with that. What is the current status with Impact after winning the gut check?
right now, Shogun is still pretty much just he's waiting, ready. I mean, fortunately, I did just step into a portal, if you will, like a time machine, step back into the '80s for the IPWF special. Thankfully, it was a fun, very very fun special. Paid tribute out to the homie, the OG, Great Muda. One of my, if I was to have a 5 pillars of my own wrestling, my own the guys I influence, the wrestlers I influenced, Shogun. Great Muda is definitely up there. So I was able to pay tribute to him. Wasn't able to do everything that I wanted to do for Muda, but next time. But yeah, for sure, it was a great time, man, and I'm grateful. I was grateful just to be there, and hopefully that can stem for something coming back.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, looking at representation in the industry, we've seen a changing of the guard big time in 2021. We've got multiple champions of color, which is fantastic to see. We've got representation across all platforms. You got Big E holding it down in WWE. You also got Roman Reigns holding it down in WWE. 2 men of color right there. 2 men of great distinction. You got Moose holding it down in Impact. Wasn't really happy how he screwed my boy Josh Alexander, but that's my own personal feelings. I'm still happy that he's repping. But how do you feel about the fact that representation in this sport is now moving forward, and great athletes, no matter the skin color, it doesn't matter about that anymore. It now matters what you can do in that ring. So the best of the best athlete wise, there's so much representation across all platforms. How does that make you feel?
Man, it's amazing. I'm again something I'm grateful for. Like every day is something that where it's like more progression is being made. And I want to just shout out to all the people who were beforehand. I mean, of course, you had the Junkyard Dogs, the Ron Simmons, all those guys. Like even in Detroit, we had Sweet Daddy, Monroe, part of the DBA family, and it's just all these all these black wrestlers, black and brown wrestlers that have paved like the way for a lot of us to do what we were able to do in different ways in different regions of the world, not just America, but just the world. They were able to do that, and I mean, it's something that's it's something that's amazing to me. I mean, Too Cool Scorpio definitely ranks high as one of my favorites, like for sure. I mean, Booker T, of course, it's a lot of people who lay like the groundwork for them. And before I can even try to praise about what we're doing now, I just want to give a lot of thanks to all the people who really put in on like the miles and like the grunt work for us like to do what we do now. All like the black and brown wrestlers I were able to do, men and women. But right now also, I mean, it's great to see how we're all progressing, man. Like everybody's doing their thing in different ways. We want to give a shout out to everybody like Lee Moriarty. You have Isaiah Bronner. You mentioned Alice Kane. You have Shane Taylor doing his thing with his promotions. Even like everybody is finding, everybody is getting their own, and it's great to know that right now, especially with social media, everybody's able to at least showcase that. And there is more acceptance. There's a lot more work to do. Because even within that, there still has to be acceptance. There still has to be further acceptance in different ways. But just a shout out to everybody out there that was able just to push that needle forward. That's able to punch up, honestly. So and a big shout out to all the promotions and all the promoters out there that's pushing this amazing black and brown talent. Big shout out to all the females out there doing their thing. Everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked a lot about the last couple of years of there being a revolution for women in the sport, but we forgot to see how much still needed to be done outside of that. A lot of the sport had blinders on. A lot of the sport did.
Yeah.
It was just, it's this body type, it's this guy, it's this character, this is how everything has to be done. But not so much anymore. You mentioned a huge list of names. Shane Taylor, amazing cat, one of the most sincere and humbling individuals. Also, Alex Kane, great friend of the show, much like yourself. Now that, for me, that's a match that's intriguing. And I think it's a match that you two should have, but it has to be a stipulation match. I believe the only way for you two to really tie it down and tear it apart is a suplex match.
That's what I'm talking about.
Moves that can be done is suplexes. So it literally, you could do strikes, you could do, Irish whips, you could get him in the corner, but every major move has to be a suplex, and eventually it has to be like an I quit suplex match. So there has to be so many suplexes hit that the other guy can just not get up. I think I got a goal that will put butts in the seats. That would sell out like crazy. What do you think?
Man,
Tell me I'm wrong.
please listen to the man. Please listen to the man. Right now, I love Shogun. No, like one thing, Shogun loves competition. I love seeing people at their like doing their thing. That's in the wrestling world, because it is something that drives me as well. And just to know that there's another individual out there that specializes in in suplexes and throwing people. I mean, again, like I'm all for it. I want to see what that's about. I'm like Goku Broly out here. I just want to test it. I just want to test the waters and see what's up. So I mean, for me, honestly, man, I'm down with any type of competition. Honestly, with you saying that stipulation, that was one of my stipulations back here, not just in XICW, but I'm bringing it over at Mega soon, my Shogun Suplex Challenge, where I had to get 5 suplexes before I could even go for a pinfall or submission win. So before anything could be done, I had to get 5 suplexes. And that individual, they could pop off with their own suplexes if they wanted. They could pin me at any point. They could submit me at any point.
But you had to lock down 5 before you could do anything.
Yeah, before anything. So like, let's say I hit that 4th and it's a pinfall all of a sudden. Nope, I gotta pick him up one more time. I gotta throw him across the ring one more time. I can't go for that submission just yet. So I mean, it's a lot of things, but also if they hit those 5 suplexes on me, it's a wrap automatically. It's like they just win. So, and there's been a couple of people. There's a couple people that have been close. Isaiah Bronner, like I said, good. I would say really, even though we strike, we strike each other pretty hard. We threw each other pretty like a lot. But that, a good friend of mine, him and I, we had a fallout with that, and we had a competitive match with that, man. Big love to him. Also, big love to all. Like, I want to give you mentioned like Black Talent. I want to just give it. Just popped in my head. I want to give a shout out to everybody. Paragon, the main event out there in Pennsylvania. Jocelyn. Also, like I said, you said Alex Kane. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to Shane Taylor, of course. Who, shouts out to, of course, Lee Moriarty's doing his thing. Big shout out to Cisco Silver over at Mega. Big shout out to Butchie B, also over at Mega. Butchie B, be on the lookout for him. If anything, if you look for an explosive cruiserweight, look out for him. And also, shouts out to Ken Moore. Shouts out to just everybody. I just like mob like MM3. I would just give like love to all the talent, because I would say I'm thinking Shogun's been thinking just in the last since 2010. It's just been just a rush of just Black and brown talent that's really grew. And we talk about things like the show that's going on in St. Louis right now. I apologize. Black Wrestlers Matters. Yeah. Yep. Like that show. That's an amazing step right there. Something that Shogun can't wait to be part of. But that's an amazing step right there. The fact that we have it, people promote things like that. And you mentioned also the whole thing like you had to be a certain body type. I feel like that was still a thing in a way, because for some time, and I have debates with a lot of my peers about this. For a while there was a time where, at least in the middle of 2010s, it felt like being the big man was kind of like almost being more or less the elephant in the room. Like you had to be, the fit was the cruiserweight. The fit was to be that fast 205, 205 pounder that's flying across and doing all these things, which big man we can do, but doesn't mean we need to all the time. So it's just one of those things where it's like now, you can see those big men really pulling out those moves, a la Keith Lee. Big shout out to him. And it is really cool. It's really cool just knowing that people are are accepting more of we're evolving our style. Like styles are evolving and meshing at the same time. And I love that.
Absolutely. I mean, for guys like you and I, like for me, I look at guys like yourself. I look at guys like Kevin Owens. I look at guys like Shane Taylor. You guys look like me. You have that same body type that I have, stocky, broad shoulders, but we get it done. And guys like us, we were never meant to be champions, Jackson. A guy like us doesn't sell TV. A guy like us doesn't sell. But now the fact that the door's been kicked open, guys like us can put butts in the seats. Guys like us can represent a company. Guys like us can change the game.
Oh yeah, and I feel like honestly, I would say just in the mid 2010s, it felt like for a second that was almost the vibe around the indies. Not so much at other level, but at least at the indies, it felt like you had to be a certain size. But yeah, again, now it seems like things are if anything, I would say changing and evolving for the better. And I mean, the big man is here to stay. We're here to stay, man. We're moving. So I mean, it's gonna be cool to see where we're gonna be in 2030, honestly, with the styles of wrestling.
My goal for 2030 would be just to see full out acceptance across the board. Full out. The only thing that should matter is how well you handle yourself in that ring. It shouldn't
Correct.
matter how you look. It shouldn't matter how you act. It shouldn't matter. I mean, you have to act professional for sure, but all that should matter is how you handle yourself in that ring. If you're the best wrestler in any company, I don't give a fuck what company it is. If you're the best man on that roster, you should be at the top of the mountain because that's what should count. It shouldn't be about the flash. It shouldn't be about the pizzazz. It shouldn't be about this and that. It should be about the best wrestlers holding titles. That's the way I look at it. I'm old school with it that way.
That's not even old school, brother. That's just how my competition is. I mean, I coming from a competitive background of football or rugby, wrestling, just boxing, all this stuff. It's one of those things where Macho said it. Cream rises to the top, and if we, whoever puts in the effort, that's who's gonna get noticed. And we even now in wrestling, we have to break. There's barriers that still have to be broken. Even with, and people are breaking that every day, and people are honestly, like I said, breaking through that glass ceiling every day because we all have that, and it's one of those things where it's beautiful to see individuals really breaking through that and showcasing people who they really are, because again, it's one of those things where once you just get in front of the, I said, the correct individuals, or just like the a certain amount of eyes, then that's when people start saying, oh wow, they're really something to be messed with, and again, thankfully for social media, we're able to broadcast that everywhere. So it's somewhere I believe that pro wrestling, and I'm trying to wrap this up. And pro wrestling, I feel like that we're getting towards that even more so. In the actual vibe, like Cream rise to the top and that equal that level ground. But it is some more work to be done, definitely.
I always find it intriguing when somebody talks about another wrestler or shouts out another wrestler. Earlier on in the show, you talked about Holden Albright, holding it down. One of the best talents out here for sure. And I think I always like to credit him, but then I like to tell people that I stole this blatantly from him. He came up with something called the level up moment. It's where you reach that ceiling, or you finish that level, and now you got to punch through to the next level because you got to progress.
Yeah.
You got to evolve. So Jackson Stone won the gut check. That's a level up moment. Boom, you punch through. Jackson Stone evolving and changing. That's the next thing. You punch through, you grow. What is the next level? Like if we're talking 2022 now, what is the next level up for how does Jackson Stone want to level up in 2022?
Jackson Stone definitely wants to get more on all radars. I'm talking about I want to be on all IWTV possible, as much as possible. Definitely want to go out to Japan as much as possible. Definitely want to be on any big fight TV pay right promotion as much as possible. But impact wise, always going for the title. Like no matter what position, like I'm put in, I'm always gonna say I'm aiming for the title. Why are you in the business? Why are you here? If you're not trying to get the grand prize, You know, like we're here to compete. So Shogun's here to compete. You give me an opportunity. I don't care who I'm in there with. I'm suplexing them with intention of hey, I'm winning this so I can get further, so I can get closer to that title.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. And that's the mindset you have to have.
yeah, yeah, and that's in every match, bro. Because like, again, why are you here? And you know, I come from I was a second placer in and a third placer in wrestling for high school and a collegiate wrestler, and you know, doing judoka and jiu-jitsu my whole life. That just stepping out in the ring on your own and handling business on your own is something so. It's something relieving about that. It's something. It shows who you really are, and that's what pro wrestling is to me. No matter what type of match it is, singles, tag, scramble, you know, it shows what you're really about. When I step in that ring, bro, it's about winning to get close to that title. So, with Impact for sure, if that's one of the questions that was in there, yeah, for sure to get close to that title. But for me, in terms of like at an indie level, honestly, I want to really attack Chicago. Shogun wants to attack Texas. I want to attack New York, Massachusetts for sure. Go up to Maine, Florida. I want to get back over to Hawaii. Of course, hit up also Alaska. Here they have great suplexing over there. And of course, get back to I feel my home. It was becoming my home away from home. And also, shouts out to my we're former tag champs. My tag champ. I'm calling us tag champs either way. Blake 182, our home away from home. That being Canada. So, you know, and all of us, Jamal King. You know, we all can't wait to get back, man. But it's just one of those things where us with this year, it's all about growth. Every year, it's just about growth, man. And hitting those places I just mentioned, those states, those cities I just mentioned, that's the ultimate goal, just to expand. You know, I want everybody chanting Shogun. You know, I want everybody understanding what these suplexes are really about, what Shogun is really about even more.
I love that. It's like a Shogun suplex world tour. That's what you should do. That should be your next shirt. Shogun World Tour 2021. Every city that you suplex somebody in, you put an X.
I like
Chicago, Toronto, Boston, New York, Philly.
I love it. Ooh, I love it. And you know what? Shouts out to you, because you know what? That's gonna happen. And it's gonna drop. Shogun's already gonna predict it right now. I'm gonna make around this time next year, because it'll be the end of the year, so I'll be able to X mark them all out. Because Shogun got a couple art for like a couple shirts dropping soon, and that's gonna be one that's gonna be added to. So
all I ask is that you send one to your boys so I can hang it in the studio right here. That's all I ask.
No worries. Like I said, I got 4 designs lined up. That'll be the 5th for sure. I need a super tour. Shogun appreciates that. Always appreciates that, because you know I got the lemonade powder. You know I'm coming out with the lemonade powder right now too. Lemonade powder is gonna be, you know, you're gonna have the regular version. We're gonna have a version that have, like, you know, it's gonna have BCAAs in there, and then the next one is gonna have a little bit of that medical THC for the people who are ready for it. You know, so it's gonna be like a little bit of that THC. I'm trying to get some CBD, but mainly it's gonna be THC influence. So it's gonna be three separate types of lemonade with various flavors for sure. But that suplex powder is gonna be dropping soon.
Well, that's amazing. You got shirts dropping, you got the powder dropping, you're going to take over the world with the world tour. That means 2022 is going to be a banger. And that's what we need to see. We need to see more bangers. But I got to ask you, in terms of progression, in terms of evolution, we talked about representation of color in wrestling, and it's come in strides. It really, really has. But when do you think we'll see an all color main event? I'm talking two of the best, let's say a Shane Taylor versus a Big E in WWE for the title. When are we going to see a main event in any big promotion on a big stage, like a WrestleMania type event? Because Black Lives Matter, or Black Wrestling Matters in St. Louis, that's a great show. That's a great concept, right, but it's on the indie level. We need to get to the TV level. That's what we need.
You know what? Honestly, man, that would be an amazing thing to have. Oh man, because I'm thinking about all these. I'm thinking about Rich Swann, people who, like, just black wrestlers who influence me right now. Like, of course, I mentioned Rich Swann. You mentioned Moose earlier. Willie Mack, in my opinion, is just absolutely amazing, man. Like, that's the homie right there, definitely. And so you know what? Honestly, I feel like it's gonna happen very soon. I feel like it's something that's right there. I mean, honestly, it's either going to be something where it's gonna be a major promotion or a HBCU, where it's gonna be an all black college promoting that in a major way, or it could be an all black network. The reason why I say a black college is because, like, I mean, I feel like a black college would just be somewhere, you can definitely, I feel like, meet a middle ground. Wrestling's always trying to get that demographic of what, 15 to 30, something like that. But college, collegiate students right there, that's just an amazing, like, audience that I feel personally wrestling hasn't really tapped into since, I mean, hey, if you want to say since Ruthless Aggression era, possibly.
You're right.
I would say, but I mean, it's been a while since that particular audience has been really tapped in. And I feel indie wrestling, especially black indie wrestling, would be amazing at a black college. Oh my gosh, man. Just to show up at a Howard University and just start having Q dogs and Kappas and Sigmas all do their steps and everything, go crazy and have entrances. And just, I can see it. It would be an amazing affair, honestly. But I would say either a black college or a black network. That would be the ways where I could, like, see something like that being huge. But on a WWE level, I mean, I think Big E and Bobby Lashley are, like, did they main event? They didn't main event Mania, did they? No. That was Drew. That was Drew and Bobby. Honestly, man, I think it's something that's, if anything, is gonna happen in the next 2 years on that level, on that type of level. Because, I mean, personally, it's one of those things where how big can they be? Like, I feel like they're one of the, like, Biggie's probably one of the best groups that brought in probably one of the best merch sales for that company. And Bobby has been, consistent. And honestly, I feel deserving for a while. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel if you were to have a main event with two black wrestlers on that type of level, I mean, I feel like it's something that's going to be happening very soon. Because, I mean, Impact already did with Moose and Rich Swann. And that was a phenomenal match. If you guys haven't, please watch that back. That was a match I studied from. But if anything, I say on the WWE level, I feel very, very soon. Like, it would be bizarre if it wasn't within the next, I would say, by 2030. Honestly, it would be bizarre if by 2030 we're at this point and we say we still haven't seen that.
That would be bizarre, because with all the strides that have been made, that would just be a huge setback. That would be like, well, now at this point, it's like it's almost like you're just giving it to us because we've been pushing for it, not giving it to us because we know it's time. And that's a setback in itself. But let's talk about some other setbacks. I mean, being a wrestler and reaching the pinnacle of being signed to one of these major companies to actually get that TV exposure, to raise your stock up so you could get that world exposure. What's your thought process on, I guess, a two-part question, ROH closing their doors down for this 3-month hiatus, but also all these releases? Like, the indies now are flooded back with some amazing talent that needs to be showcased, but it really does eat up some spots for any of those guys that are up and coming. Like, you've kind of got your base, you've got yourself established in the indies, but anybody that's trying to work their way up, now they're kind of being pushed down the ladder again with all these free agents. So what's your stance on something like that?
I mean, personally, it's interesting seeing that migration, almost like a great migration of wrestlers just spread out throughout different ways. And I feel like that's, I mean, what they say is everything becomes a cycle. Shogun sees, and honestly, I think this would be possibly for the better if territories came back. I would love if territories came back. If there was something of a territorial type of thing where, we go back to the days of, you go down to the Southwest, you see, this is the major promotion. You go over to the Northeast, that's the major promotion. Over down to Florida, that's that promotion. That's something that I feel that would bring wrestling back. I mean, if people, well, wrestling went through a great renaissance. I would say in the 2010s, but I would say to take through a renaissance in the 2020s, that would be something that would be like our renaissance in the 2020s. Would be something of a territorial thing where each would like that power, if you will, is spread out, and that and essentially that accessibility is spread out now. Because I mean now the only difference is we're modernized territorial days. I mentioned IWTV earlier and Fight TV. You have them specialized with certain promotions. What if a network was be able to get a pocket of promotions that they only broadcast, or that they only stream, if you, oh my God, that they stream, and that's essentially like how you can get a hold of them. I mean, again, Shogun can only see so much, but I would say it is something where all these wrestlers getting released, all this happening, it's just something for me. I think that's gonna push towards a more territorial type of wrestling.
And it's not a bad thing. I think that's actually a great idea. I've been a big fan. I was a big fan of territories because the territories, everybody got a chance to make a little bit of money and have some fun. And that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing is that the territories, even back in the day, they shared their talents. That was great.
Yep.
Hey, listen, I'm in Toronto. You're in Michigan. I call you up and say, Jackson, listen, I want you to come out. Well, you got to go through such and such promotion. No problem. I call the promoter. I say, listen, can you let Jackson Stone come over? Absolutely. Well, since we're talking, who do you got over there? Well, hey, you know what? I got this guy over here, Holden Albright. He's waiting in the rings. He's great. He's a great talent. Let's swap him out. I'll send Holden your way. You send Jackson mine. Everybody gets to see everybody. Everybody gets to cheer or boo for everybody, and everybody makes money. There ain't nothing fucking wrong with that. We're in a business to make money, and that's what we got to do. But the only way is to share the talent. So territories can work, but you got to share the talent. Don't keep all the eggs in your basket, because that's not fucking fair to anybody. You have to share the talent. You have to put your ego aside for the greater good of wrestling. That's what matters. Nothing else.
And and it will create so many great matchups, man. Like just so many, like you'll be able to relive or create, if you will, a new type of Flair Steamboat. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to new type of Harley and Dusty. Harley and Dusty. You'll be able to create that, if you will. And it'll bring so much more. I feel like it's only. I mean, it's one of those things where it's only a matter of time. I truly believe, again, you can only have so much talent spread out or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. You only have so much talent in one pool before they start jumping to other pools. Mm-hmm. And then they start jumping to another pool, and then another pool, and then another pool. Now you have all these pools filled, and all these wrestlers are just there. Well, if this bringing revenue, then they're going to, at least hopefully, bringing in revenue with the names that and the credibility that they gain. You'll be able to build off of that and be able to get some type of network going.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that's a great way to leave this off. It was a fantastic conversation. You got to get going. Oh, yeah. I got to get going, but it's never like it's not going to happen again. You're always welcome. You know that from day one, you've been part of the Straight Talk family, and you're always welcome.
Likewise.
You're always welcome.
Likewise.
So before you go, please shout out your socials. Let everybody know where they can follow the journey that is Jackson Stone.
Bet. Thank you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Suplex Shogun, Jackson Stone, the Senpai Suplexes. Now, right now, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The Instagram is going to be Jackson_Stone 313. The Twitter is going to be Jackson_Stone 31. And also the Facebook is just going to be Jackson Stone, my athletic page. You can also hit me up through my email, Jackson Stone with one extra E. That's just Jackson Stone with one extra E @gmail. You can also go to my YouTube page, check out my matches, my promos, my shorts. Again, a lot more things going to build it up. please, if you can, hit up my Pro Wrestling Tees shop. I right now have, I believe three designs up there. But right now, again, like Shogun's gonna be getting some more designs up. Those 3 designs are made by some great artists though. And again, people at Shogun really, really appreciates their work. Check them out. Again, I just want to give a shout out to all these promotions right now putting us on, and also all these promotions that I came with the Suplex at, not just from Paradigm, but OWA. Also gonna be hitting up AIW, gonna be hitting up Crossbody Promotions, Destiny, hopefully, Demand Lucha, gonna be going back and forth towards OVW. You'll be seeing me throughout the New York area. And also shouts out to Mega Championship Wrestling. If you guys can, again, check them out, Mega Championship Wrestling. But yeah, follow Shogun and follow the chance and hear the suplexes.
Mm-hmm. And you believe me, I've been in the audience. You can hear him from outside the building, around the corner at the nearest Tim Hortons. I promise you, when he hits a suplex, the whole fucking world explodes. I guarantee it. Jackson, my brother.
Jake.
My brother, my familia, thank you so much. I wish you a safe and happy new year, a great start to 2022, and to all the Straight Talk faithful, peace, love, and wrestling. Happy 2022, happy new year. We'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week for another great episode on all available podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. Also, check us out on YouTube at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And if you feel the need to buy some sweet merch, check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Leaving the scene with no trace, not in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top, I'm outer space. Can't eat with us, we're out of place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going state to state.